reflecting questions and give us some time to take in the beautiful scenery that God has given us. So in chapter 17 it says, "Now Elijah, who was of the settlers of Gilead, said to Ahab, As the Lord, the God of Israel, lives before whom I stand, surely there shall be neither dew nor rain these years, except by my word. Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Go away from here and turn eastward, and hide yourself by the brook Cherith, which is the east of the Jordan. It shall be there that you will drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to provide for you there." So he went and did according to the word of the Lord, for he went and lived by the brook Cherith, which is east of the Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he would drink from the brook. It happened after a while that the brook dried up, because there was no rain in the land. What strikes me that is so interesting about this, Elijah is living by faith. And he goes to the king and he says, there won't be any rain. And Elijah didn't know the plan after that. He just had his yes on the table and said, Lord, all I know is that you've called me to do this. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. I'm going to worry about today. And I heard a preacher once say, we put our yes on the table not because of the request from God, but because of who God is. He demands a yes from us. And so Elijah, not knowing what was going to happen next, said, okay, I will go and tell the king Ahab, there will not be any rain and there will be a drought. And then, Lord, whatever is next, you have it. He trusted the Lord to be his Jehovah Jireh, his provider. And so then the Lord told him, okay, I want you to go into the wilderness and hide. I mean, imagine hiding amongst this. And you're just waiting on the Lord to provide. And you're just waiting to hear from the Lord about what's next. And the Lord told him, hey, I'm going to use birds to give you bread and meat. And actually, that's how we're going to eat tonight. No, I'm just kidding. But think about how crazy of a request that is, that the Lord said, hey, I want you to go and sit by the brook, and I'm going to provide for you. And he did so. And then the brook ran out. It ran dry. And the Lord continued to provide. Does anyone know how the Lord provided after the brook ran dry? Through the widow. Yeah, Zarephath. Wow, man, we're smart. This group's great. But he just trusted the Lord to provide. So I got a couple questions, then I'm going to give us some time of reflection with this view and time with you and the Lord. What are you trusting God to provide for? And honestly, it's always great to think back over our lives and see how God has provided. One, he has provided a way of salvation for us, and that's through Jesus Christ. And so that's the greatest thing that he's provided for us. He's provided a way for all of us to experience biblical community, and that is through Christ's Place, through a church, or for some of us, it's Free Chapel that have joined us. I mean, God has provided us his church. He's provided his word for us, so we know how we are called to live. And so just think over the years how God has provided for you. I don't know about you, but for me, God has provided a lot of ways in which he has called me to live. And I've put my yes on the table, and he's provided every single time. Now, I haven't experienced ravens bringing me bread and meat, but I've experienced some cool things. And if we had the time, I'm sure we could go around to each of us, and we could talk about how God has provided for us. But a lot of times we can just forget about it instead of giving God praise for it. So in the next few moments, I want us to do two things. One, just give glory to the Lord and how he has provided for us with salvation, his word, his church, and in our personal lives. But also, some of us might be waiting on the Lord to provide what's next. I don't know everyone's situation, but even in the midst of a drought and even in the midst of the wilderness, the Lord sees us, he knows us, and he will provide for us. Maybe not every physical need, but every spiritual need he will provide for us. So I'm just going to say a prayer of thanks, thanking the Lord for how he has provided for us. And then I would love for you to spend some time, not too close to the edge though, maybe from further back, just thanking the Lord and thinking about how he has provided for us. Let's pray. Lord,